Empowered to Empower You podcast is about all things Jesus Christ, mental health, anything to help you change your mindset so that you have the right perspective and become the better version of yourself. I am your host, Bewindi Bobb. Hey everyone! Oh my gosh, it's another week, y'all. It's another week. And not only is it another week, but it is the last week of August. Can you believe that? We are about a few months shy away of the end of 2020. And I know for a lot of people, 2020 has been a year of roller coasters, a year of losses, a year of pain, a year of uncertain, weird things happening. And for others, it's been a year of transitions and transformations and blessings and love. So many people are getting engaged and married and having babies and new businesses, and entrepreneurship is booming, and just you name it. There's been a lot going on this year for sure. So if this is your first time joining this podcast, welcome. Listen, I gotta share my whys because I know that I may have some new listeners. I am so humbled and honored that so many people are finding this podcast from the United States to the United Kingdom, from the United Kingdom to Germany, from Germany to Ireland, from Ireland to Canada, from Canada to Jamaica, man. Hopefully some people from St. Lucia, my homeland, will find it too, but it will happen. So I gotta share my whys. My whys for this podcast and these episodes are a desire for people to give their lives to Jesus, because I don't know any other way. The only way that I can make it through this pandemic, through these difficult times, is because I know that I have a hope in Jesus. Jesus gives me hope. There is life in relationship with God. Everything that we need, everything that I need, the Lord has given me. I don't know how I would make it. I wouldn't be on this microphone if I did not know the Lord. And let me tell you, I've had some painful experiences in life. I've had some experiences where I could have lost my mind, but I'm thankful for the grace of God. My why is that people get closer to the Lord and read their Bibles more and increase prayer life to increase faith, and engage in further development, and even start investing in their emotional and mental health by starting therapy. I want you to know that just because I serve as a licensed clinical social worker, I do provide therapy on a weekly basis. But this podcast cannot, will not, is not a replacement to therapy, but it definitely can be a great addition to your experience with therapy. Have you listened to episode number 34 on stewarding your emotional wellness, part 5 of the wellness series? You know, during that episode, I highlighted some tips of how to steward or be being a manager, be a manager of your mental or emotional health. If you do not manage it, who else will? So if you have not listened, do me a favor, pause this one and just come back. I am right here waiting for you to listen. And if you haven't had a chance, will you please post a review of the podcast? Posting a review of the podcast allows people to find it more, because I just want people to win. I want people to be able to get their fingers on this and listen and just grow, right? From these episodes. So since I am on this series around wellness, you know something? I've got to talk about therapy. Some of you could not wait for this. I'm so excited. So welcome to episode number 35. Why therapy? Remember, I asked a rhetorical question earlier. If you don't manage your emotional or your mental health or emotional wellness, who else will? It's our responsibility to manage our emotional wellness. But wait, Wendy, what if I don't know how to? That is a great question, my friend. So it is impressed upon me to talk to you about therapy. What is it exactly? And why do I need to go? Is it for crazy people? I thought it was for crazy people. Is it where I go lie on a couch and some doctor gives me some antidepressants and antipsychotics or tells me about medication, which has all these side effects? Do I really need therapy? I mean, the last time I went to therapist, the first thing she wanted to do was put me in medication. I'm not weird. Why would I go to this thing? There are so many myths about therapy, and I don't even have the time today to focus on all the myths. And really, that's not the main concern of this podcast. I don't want to just talk about the myths and that's all you hear. But I want to increase your understanding of therapy. so that hopefully you've been thinking about it. I'm listening to you. I see you. You've been thinking about it for a long time. You hear your friends talk about it. In fact, the word is buzzing around more often now than before. I don't know if to thank the pandemic or to thank just this times that we in. I hate that it took a pandemic to really show people that they need to invest in their emotional wellness. But hey, more and more people are seeking mental health, and I am so thankful that people are doing that. So you who have been putting it off year after year, you tell yourself, I think I need to go. You tell yourself again, man, I need to go, but you haven't gone. This is for you. And if those of you who are listening are already in therapy, listen, I am so proud of you because you're showing up for yourself. And if you are in therapy but you're not satisfied with your therapist, I hope this is for you too. I may have another episode after this about that as well. But today I just want to talk about the understanding of therapy and hopefully highlight the main aspects of why therapy. Therapy is often interchangeably used with words as counseling or psychotherapy. Therapy is a process, a relationship between a client and a skilled and trained clinical professional or mental health professional, maybe preferably a licensed professional counselor or a licensed clinical social worker like myself, a person who holds a space and creates a safe space and a brave space for one to work through difficulties, emotional conflicts, so that skills can be taught on how to reduce emotional discomfort and increase overall wellness. Therapy has so many benefits, y'all. Some include increased insight, increased awareness. People talk about self-care. But can I just tell you something? You can't self-care if you're not self-aware. Self-awareness is the key to self-care. You can take a bath in Epsom salt. Yeah, that's self-care. You can do your hair, you can do your face, you can do your nails, you can do your toes. That is self-care. But I'm talking about self-awareness, where you notice patterns, cycles, triggers. You notice your feelings. You notice that you are acknowledging your emotions, that you're not suppressing them. Therapy gives you the opportunity to learn all of that, and to learn effective coping strategies, to deal with negative thoughts and emotions, to understand triggers, to reduce distress, to increase communication or interpersonal skills, to increase confidence, to show up for oneself, or how to be assertive, how to set appropriate boundaries. There are so many people who don't even know how to set boundaries in a relationship, and they let people take advantage of them. They keep saying yes to everything, and the yes is costing them something, costing them their sleep, costing them their wellness, costing them their finances. They don't even want to do these things, but they're settling, they're compromising. Therapy teaches you how to help you set boundaries. Therapy helps clients with the tools to help them gain a new perspective and find themselves. I have to specify that because there is a difference between therapy and coaching. See, coaching looks at the present and what we can do about it to move forward. And as a mindset coach, clients tell me their dreams and their aspirations. As a therapist, clients tell me the secrets. And we look at the past and how it impacts the present before we can move forward. Therapy is very necessary and important. Can I tell you something? I market and attract professionals and young adults. These are individuals you would perhaps not even think need therapy because they're highly functional. They're smart. They're intelligent. They're bossing it up. They're entrepreneurs. But you know what? They are wearing a mask. They have a master's degree and a doctorate in suppressing their emotions or deflecting. You ask them how they're doing, they say, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm cool, I'm okay. It's a great day. They even say, I'm blessed and highly favored. That's another thing too. I serve Christians. And I offer Christ-centered counseling to those who request. I say that because not every client is a Christian. But most believers find me. And I'm so thankful that they do, because I offer Christ-centered counseling to those who request. People who have been taught to just pray it away. Yep, just pray it away. Why should you need a therapist when you could just talk to God? Don't get me wrong, because prayer is necessary. I wouldn't be where I am without prayer. Prayer is powerful. Prayer is a direct communication line with God. But where are the people who just get down with Jesus and therapy? Am I talking to you? Hello, somebody. So what am I saying? Here are a few reasons why therapy, why you should consider it, why you should move from considering to starting it. Therapy is necessary for your emotional wellness. It's an amazing way to invest. It is an amazing, and let me say that again. It is an amazing investment into your emotional wellness. Therapy is a way of showing up for yourself. It is a way of giving a gift to you. It gives you the space to give you permission to be vulnerable and become emotionally naked with someone who is capable to hold that space with you. The therapist is trained. And if you're seeing a therapist and you feel like you can't be vulnerable, then by any means, you have every right to advocate for yourself and have a conversation with that therapist. I would recommend having a conversation before you fire that therapist. And I'll talk about that in another episode, because there are many people who see a therapist but may not be satisfied. You can have that conversation before you fire them. But listen, I know that vulnerability is scary. Many people call me and they say things like, Ms. Bobb, I am really private. Like, I really thought about this for a long time, but I don't really tell people my business. I pray, I read the Bible, I go to church, but I listen to sermons. I worship, but I don't know I don't know about telling people my business. I don't know about that. And let me just tell you, vulnerability, the longer that you are keeping it all inside, the more that you are susceptible to feeling ashamed. That's what the enemy wants for you to do. He wants for you to feel ashamed. He wants for you to feel guilty. He wants for you to feel alone, that nobody will understand you, that your feelings are not valid. There are so many things that you hold on to that are narratives. And I've talked about that in the previous episode. Feel free to scroll and look for that episode. But therapy allows you the space. We all can benefit from being vulnerable. Because in vulnerability, when you find a me too, when your feelings are validated, shame subsides. In fact, shame, the voice of shame no longer is loud. It is silenced. Therapy offers you the tools to help you be the better version of yourself. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? If you notice that every relationship you've had difficulties, you've had multiple marriages, multiple failed relationships, I hate to say it to you, but most times that is the other person. But there are times where the common denominator may be you. Maybe you. Is it your thinking? Are you presenting as desperate? Is it your expectations? Do you have expectations that are unrealistic? Do you expect this person to make you happy? Like, you totally lose yourself and you expect them to be your world. Nobody should be our world. We have to learn how to find happiness ourselves. We have to learn how to be whole. But many people get married and they're not whole, and they think that just because I become one with somebody else, that makes me whole. No, that doesn't. It makes you one, but doesn't make you whole. Marriage doesn't take these things away. Many single people expect that these emotional stuff is going to get better once they have a mate, a boo, a love. No. Therapy is all about you. I know that you love your massage appointment, your nail appointment, or your time in the barbershop, if I'm talking to some men. Therapy is your emotional health check-in for proper maintenance so that you are functioning optimally. I even had a man told me that. He was like, I appreciate these sessions because they allow me to kind of have my check-in. Just like I go to the doctor. It allows me to kind of make sure that everything is going right. If it's not, to fix it. Therapy helps make sense of what does not make sense to you. Let me give you a brief example. Of course, I have to protect confidentiality. Oh, and confidentiality is very important to me. That means what you tell me as a therapist, I hold the vault. My mother told me, she made a joke. She said, well, she wasn't making a joke, but she made me laugh in the process. She calls me Dee Dee and she says, you're like a storage. You store all people's problems. And we both start cracking up because it's true. I am a vault every single week. And only the Lord gives me the strength to do that and the anointing to do it too. But let me give you a brief example. And this is going to hopefully help seal the deal. So I talked with a 90-year-old client through telehealth. This was telephonic. And because of the pandemic, this 90-year-old has not been able to have interactions with family since March. And she has felt isolated because she has absolutely no neighbors around. She's felt lonely. And although admitted that she watches the news a whole lot, for the first time she experienced physiological reactions. What am I saying? Her heart was racing fast. She had struggled with AFib, which is a heart condition with the heartbeat. And she experienced headaches. She experienced sleeplessness. She would fall down. She would lay down, but she couldn't sleep through the night. And when she was speaking to me, I discerned that she had experienced anxiety. But check this out. She thought that she was going crazy. She said, something is wrong with me. I've never experienced it. She thought she was having a stroke. But once I helped to normalize her feelings and validate her, she said I made her feel so much better. And she was relieved to know that she was not going crazy. And if I never get to talk to her again, I know that the initial conversation by phone helped her to feel nurtured. Y'all, a 90-year-old. So if a 90-year-old can benefit from a therapeutic conversation to help her make sense that what she was experiencing was anxiety, something that is normalized, something that a lot of people, I helped her to know that, ma'am, you are not having a stroke. You are not going crazy. You are not alone. Many people are struggling with anxiety around this time especially. If a 90-year-old can benefit, a 19-year-old can benefit. A 20-something-year-old can benefit. I have a lot of 20-somethings and 30-something-year-olds. The man and the woman can benefit. I have served black men and black women and white women and Asian. If you're from the Caribbean like I am, you can benefit from therapy. Mental health is a serious issue in the islands. If you're a Nigerian, I've served a lot of Nigerians and still do. I love them. It doesn't matter where you're from. Mental health is a common denominator in every socioeconomic status. Whether you're a professional, you can benefit. Whether you're an entrepreneur, let me tell you, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. You can benefit. Mental health is cross-cultural. It's not just the black people that need it or have it or need therapy. It's every person. Now, black people, definitely, we need it more because there is a stigma in the black community where whatever goes on in my house stays in my house. Black people say things like, therapy? No, we ain't doing all that. I ain't talking to no shrink. What? But let me just tell you this, it's not just in the black community. And I'm so thankful that many more black people are coming forward and saying, I just need to talk to somebody. I need to unpack this. The stigma is a lie. The stigma that you don't need to talk to a therapist, that's a lie. But can I just be honest with you? This is not just a stigma in the black community. I've worked with Asians, and that's a stigma there too. Asians don't go to seek mental health help. They don't believe in seeking mental health. They don't. Not only is it a stigma for Asians, it's also a stigma for Mexicans or Spanish-speaking Americans or Spanish-speaking people who speak Spanish. I don't want to say the wrong. I want to be very politically savvy. I want to say the right thing. So it is a stigma. And there's also a stigma in the Southerns. Somebody told me that their family was from Alabama And in the Southerns, she was like, if my grandparents knew that I was seeing a therapist, they would be like, why are you doing that? We don't go to therapists. So it's a stigma across several cultures, but it is a lie. Out of all the things that I mentioned that are benefits, I'm sure you can realize and you can admit that, you know what, I can benefit from talking to somebody. Because can I just be honest with you? Your friend cannot be your therapist. How many of you have talked to your friend and you try to be vulnerable with your friend and they got nothing for you? They can't give you nothing because they're not trained to hold that space. They might just add, fuel to the fire or say, oh my gosh, like, what? Like, they don't know what to do with that. Many people cannot talk to their families. There are certain things that families cannot hold space for. Hopefully there's something that I said today that helps to increase your understanding of why therapy. And let me just tell you this. I'm not doing this because I want to market or get you to come see me. I can't serve everybody. I'm doing it to help increase your understanding, to give you information, especially if you have wanted to thought about starting the journey of therapy, but have felt scared, intimidated, and you've hesitated. Everybody needs a space to be themselves without being judged. And I am so honored to have celebrated the wins of my current and past clients. There are so many clients that I have seen the growth. Just last week, y'all, I had a lot of moments where I saw the growth and progress, where I see a client that I once served in a previous session where she did not know how to affirm herself. And sessions in the future, current session, where she was able to affirm herself and realize, oh my gosh, I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am. I don't have to wait for you, Ms. Bobb, to affirm me. I can affirm myself. Do you understand how powerful that is? Or times when I get random texts from clients just to tell me, Ms. Bobb, I am so thankful. Like, I know how to show up for myself. I know how to stand up for myself. I know who I am now. I don't have to settle for anything. I know how to deal with these things. I feel so empowered and encouraged. Do you understand what that means to me? I love to celebrate the wins of my clients. And if you go on my website, you might see some testimonials of what people have said about therapy. But listen, maybe you've wanted to start, but you think it's too expensive. Can I give you some ideas of how to get started? Number 1, EAP. If you are employed, ask your job, ask the human resources if there is an EAP program. EAP is Employee Assistance Program. A lot of insurance offer that benefit to employers where they pay for a certain number of counseling sessions and it's no cost to you. It's just a benefit for you. It's an added benefit to your plan. And right now, I have much respect to Cigna. Cigna, if you have Cigna insurance, Cigna is extending their EAP sessions. At first, it used to be 3 sessions for EAP, and then you would pay whatever the counselor or the therapist fees are, or whatever your plan benefits are. It's too complicated to explain. But right now, because of COVID, Cigna has extended therapy sessions. Like, there are clients, when I call the insurance and they have EAP, they've extended from 3 to 6, from 6 to 10 sessions. 10 sessions at no cost. Do you know how much can happen in 10 sessions? I've seen people get transformations in 3 sessions. I have a client right now, 3 sessions, and she was like, whoa, you changed my whole life. Like, to God be the glory. Change her whole life. Okay? So if you are employed and if you have Cigna, 9 times out of 10, you may. I'm not saying you do, but it's good to ask your HR rep, does the job offer EAP? Number 2, Google. A lot of people have been able to find me on Google, y'all. Just Google therapists. Google therapists in your area. Another one, if you have insurance, call your insurance. Ask them, do you have any benefits for mental health therapy? Another way to look for therapy, psychologytoday.com is a whole directory where you can go in and search for a therapist. Another one is Open Path. Open Path allows you to receive therapy at an affordable rate. So if you could not pay, maybe you've been furloughed, or you just don't have the finances to pay the fees. A lot of therapists, charge $100, $130, $175, $150, up to $200 per session. Some people can't afford that. Now, it is a business, so people have to charge. But if you cannot afford those prices, go to Open Path. Open Path allows you to fill out an application. You pay a one-time lifetime membership fee. Right now it's $59. It may go up every year, but right now it's $59 one-time lifetime membership. So you are once you pay that fee, you are a lifetime member, and you can receive individual therapy at a discounted rate from $30 to $60, I believe, and couples therapy from $30 to $80. So it's pretty good to look into. Another way to seek a therapist is BetterHelp. Another one is MD Live, or you can just go to the online counselor directory, onlinecounseling.com. You can also go to Christian Counselors Directory. So there's many ways to seek a therapist. Therapy can be expensive depending on your geographic region, but there are many ways to get therapy at an affordable price. Listen, I hope that this was helpful to you. I don't want to run out of time, but if you've been thinking about this, do not put it off any longer. You deserve it. This is an investment in your emotional wellness. And if you take care of your emotional wellness, then you could be a better person, a better self, a better you, for you and for other people. You can be a better mom. You can know how to deal with your coping strategies, or deal with your anxiety, or deal with frustration and cope better, so that you can help your child cope. You can be a better wife, a better husband, a better Christian, a better teacher, a better all the way around, a better entrepreneur. So if you have been putting this off, I hope there was something I said today that will help you to make the decision today. Hey, let me know. Email me, Bewindi Bobb at empowered2empoweryou.com, or send me a message on Instagram, empowered2serve. Don't forget to post a review. I want to know what this meant to you. I want to know if it helped you. And if you are in therapy and you know somebody who would benefit from this podcast, share it. I don't care who you share it with. Stop a random stranger. Tell them about the podcast. But be safe though, okay? But share it. Share it on your social media. Share it on your pages. Share it on YouTube. I don't care how you share it. Get the word out there, okay? I want you to be whole. I want the best for you. I want you to win. Okay? The Lord has positioned me and assigned me to do this. And I'm just so thankful to be on this microphone and to share this with you. So have a great week on purpose. I'll be back next week. And listen, it will be September by the time I come back. So have a happy end of August. And just know that I love you and I want the best for you. And Jesus loves you way more. I speak peace over you. I speak blessings over you. I speak life over you. I speak protection over you. In Jesus' name. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.